You are tuned in to Kids
in the Pit. Northside Kings. Northside Kings.
Hey guys, it's Gabe from the Kids in the Pit podcast. Today I'm joined by Danny. Okay, so how do you say your last name?
I knew you wasn't going to get that right. Nobody does. Marianino.
Okay, are you Italian?
Marianino. Yeah.
I'm also
A little
Italian.
bit.
My last name's not hard to pronounce. It's Gabe Antonio.
Oh, I like that. It's all right. Does Antonio, does it mean, I guess, Gabe Anthony, right? You know? I mean, my last name means fisherman in Italian, essentially. So it breaks down to me.
I'm not sure. It was shortened from Di Giuseppe Antonio when.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
That's what it was.
Ellis Island was like, nah.
Right.
I'm imagining if I was Gabe Di Giuseppe Antonio.
Mm-hmm. I think my husband's great grandma who came over from Italy.
Yes, so it would be Gabriel Joseph Di Giuseppe Antonio.
Wow, that's a big name.
Yeah, but just Gabriel Joseph
I
Antonio.
thought Mick Clarence Lambrou was a big name, but that's a real Clarence.
Yep. So Marianino?
Marianino. You just call me Danny. It's
Marianino. Okay,
yeah,
Marianino
yeah,
and Lambrou?
Lambrou.
Lambrou, okay.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's Gabe from the Kids in the Pit podcast. Today I'm joined by Danny Marianino and Mick Lambrou. Both very hard last names to say. Danny, Danny, you're in Australia. No, you're in Arizona, and Mick, you're in Australia, right?
I am in Australia, yes.
So what time is it for everyone right now?
For me, it is 10:40 a.m. on Saturday morning. So I'm in the future.
Right, it's crazy.
For me, it's 8:40 p.m. on Friday.
And it's 5:40 for me, p.m. in Arizona. We're 3 hours. Arizona doesn't change our clocks like everybody else. Well, most of Arizona doesn't. So, like, right now we're on the same time as California, but when the clocks change again, will be a difference of an hour. But we remain the same. It's a strange. I'm in the don't change the clock vortex over here.
Yeah, I was about to say I want to move to Arizona, but because the clock, because the time doesn't change. But
then you were like, nah, I don't want skin cancer. I'll stay on the East Coast.
Yeah. Well, it's not the East Coast. It's just because it's super south, and it just don't the big old plastic dumpsters. Don't those melt sometimes?
If you were to take cookies today and put them on a cookie sheet like Duncan Hines or one of those, and just lay them on a cookie sheet and put them on the dashboard and shut the car door, you'll have cookies in a couple hours.
That's nuts.
It's 115 degrees out, so when you shut the doors in the car, it's like 130, 140 degrees. So you could slow cook stuff. You throw an egg in the street, you cook an egg. I saw a lady put a loaf of bread she made in the mailbox. The mailman got a nice surprise. He opened it up, put the mail, and out comes a loaf of bread. How you gonna argue that?
Yeah, that's crazy. So I guess you don't really need ovens then. You just need a mailbox.
You really try. Yeah, you try not to cook too much in the summer indoors in Arizona because it heats up the house too much. But in the same token, you don't want to go outside and cook because it's so hot. You know, we have a pool, and that's part of survival in Arizona. You got to have a pool because otherwise you can't go outside. You spend 20 minutes outside, you're done for. So I got a lot of grills and stuff, and I can cook outside. But my wife is cooking in the kitchen today. We'll drop the air down a little bit more just to make sure the house stays cooler.
Yeah, I want to go to Arizona sometime, but not for too long.
We'll go in December.
Yeah. We are?
No, we should.
Oh yeah. I mean, if we went, it would be probably in the fall, spring, winter. Yeah. Jinx.
That's the time to come.
Can't speak anymore.
Sorry.
You spoke. I'll start with some questions for Danny now. So you're in the band Northside Kings, right?
Correct, correct.
So what do you do in the band?
I yell at everybody because they're mental. Yeah, I play guitar. I used to play guitar and sing, but we were a three-piece when we started. But I kept getting the microphone knocked into my mouth, into my teeth, and it hurt too much. So we figured, hey, it was time to eventually move me to just vocals, and that's what I did. So studio, I still play guitar, but live it's just singing. And I'm a van driver. I'm the guy that handles any problems, questions, issues. I'm the all around, I guess, kind of go-to guy for the band as well.
Yep. So when did Northside Kings start, and were you always in the band?
Yes. So Northside King started in 1999-ish. We originally, I used to play guitar in a band called Cause for Alarm, which was an old hardcore band from New York. I didn't play them too long, maybe a year and a half, 2 years, but we were writing another Cause for Alarm album, and Keith, the singer, decided to go a little bit different direction. So I took the songs with the drummer of Cause for Alarm, and we started Northside Kings together. So really, the first Northside Kings album really would have been the next Cause for Alarm album if we had stayed. But and yeah, I've always been a part of the band since the beginning. I sang on the album at first. I hate singing, by the way. It's like the worst thing in the world. You're
Yeah.
yelling, you lose your voice. You're up in the front. You got to be the guy that's the entertainer guy. It's a lot. And as you get older and fatter, it gets harder and harder. Uh,
Yep.
but I really like playing guitar, but I sang on the demo, and we couldn't find a singer really in Arizona at the time that worked. We shot the demo, and the label Thorpe Records picked it up. So there, I became the singer. That's how that went.
Nice. Is Northside Kings playing shows currently?
We are not, but it's coming up next year. There may be a few things on the horizon. Uh, we kind of we joke around. We never broke up. We just got lazy, which really kind of is the truth. Everybody's got get older. You got families, kids. It's kind of hard to arrange all that, and we kind of just got lazy. And then we did a we did a show in 2017 with Agnostic Front for their 35th anniversary tour when they did the Phoenix show, and then we didn't do anything again for a while. But we
Nice.
may have some stuff coming up.
Yeah,
Birdie,
that's
little Birdie's been telling me little tweets in the ear.
yep. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That you guys opened for Agnostic Front.
They're probably my favorite band to play with for two reasons. Number one, they're awesome, awesome live, unbelievable band, energy and everything else. And number two, they're really good friends of ours.
Yep.
Uh, Roger lives in Arizona. He's been here for almost 20 years now. He's down the street, and I always get to spend a little time with them when they all come out. See him before they start a tour. They always come here first before they do the West Coast tour. So uh, they're probably my favorite that I've gotten to play with. And we've outside of touring with a band, they're probably the band that we've played the most with that's come through town. Them and Kill Your Idols. We've played dozens of shows, I think, with every time they toured and they came to Phoenix. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they're one of my favorite hardcore bands. Every time they came to Phoenix, we played with.
Yep. I'm like, so I don't know. I don't think I know really any like Kill Your Idol songs, but I like, I uh
One of the
I
guys, one of
I
the
know
guys from Kill Your Idols, yeah, Paul from Kill Your Idols plays now in a metal band. Um, Gosh, I can't remember the name of them. I'm having a mental block. Paul and Rafe, they moved into this metal band, but Paul also played in uh, uh, Kid Dynamite. He played bass for Kid Dynamite. He fills in for Madball here and there and other bands. So he's a guy that kind of bounces around a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so what I was thinking, yeah, so I couldn't think for a second. So I don't know like any Kill Your Idol songs, but I like definitely know about them. I've heard them a lot. I've heard about them a lot because but yeah, I
Your
don't
dad
know.
has a tattoo.
Oh yeah, he does.
You
But
too. Me and your dad both got the Kill Your Idols. I can't get my arm to
Yeah.
turn like that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same thing. Mark,
got the-
come here.
I got 3 band tattoos. Kill Your Idols is one of them. Just a little banger that Kill Your Idols skull
Show
there.
your Kill Your Idols
You have
tattoo.
a big Kill Your Idols tattoo.
What up?
Show them the
How you
your Kill
doing,
Your
buddy?
Idols.
Let's see if you got Kill Your-
Yo, where's it at? Where it be at?
There it is.
Oh yeah, that's huge.
There it is.
Yeah, I got a little baby one.
Sick.
A little baby filler
Wait, so-
down there.
Okay, so Dad, yours is on your right arm and his is on his left arm,
Mine's on my
right?
left arm.
And that could be a couple.
Yeah.
I also got a Murphy's Law tattoo.
Yep.
I got a killer beer back there.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
and I have the sick of it all. And Mick has the sick of it all dragon too.
And Mom
Right?
has the sick of it all dragon too.
There's 3 people on this podcast right now with the sick of it all dragon.
Oh, I need one now.
Not yet.
Yeah, you
Well,
got like 2.
Just
Gabe,
like
you got-
Sharpie it on me. Look.
Yeah,
Not till
how
you're
old are you?
15.
Yeah, you're 12 now. You got till you're 15. Don't worry about it.
We said 14 or 15. We'll see.
Yeah.
Thank goodness my parents didn't let me get tattooed at your age. I would have a big Popeye on my chest or something. Big
Yeah,
can of spinach.
It's a giant can of spinach.
Imagine that, like you grow up and you're like, oh yeah, you make mistakes when you're a kid. And I take off my shirt and there's a big giant can of spinach. Meanwhile, I got a garbage pail kid on my chest. So what am I talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah, speaking of Murphy's Law, I've seen them a few times. They're just like awesome. Jimmy is like really, really funny.
He is hilarious.
Yeah.
He
He
is.
should be a comedian.
He is. Murphy's Law is a comedy show.
Yeah.
Every time you go
definitely.
see Murphy's Law, I don't think I've ever seen a band that I've seen play that I laugh so much when they play. I mean, Mick, you would say the same thing. I mean, what band can you think of that you've seen that you just laughed the whole set?
Yeah. Like like half the set he's just like, why did the chicken cross the road? Like he just
He's a
yeah,
goof.
he's
He's
yeah,
a
he's-
goofball.
he's really like funny. Yeah. Yeah, so he'd let me sing what song? He let me sing Somebody's Gonna Get Their Head Kicked In Tonight, like probably a few weeks ago in Philly.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
I think what you're doing is really cool. I got to tell you, when I was your age, I used to listen to a radio station. There's a college station in New Jersey, Seton Hall, 89.5 Seton Hall Pirate Radio. And it was kids in college, and they pretty much played metal music all the time. And I used to sneak my headphones at night. My mother would be like, go to sleep. Well, yeah, okay, I'm under the blanket, and I'm listening to my headphones. And I would listen to bands like Metal Church on there, or Agnostic Front, Biohazard. And I can tell you, like, band after band from Exodus, any band that toured Overkill, I would listen to, and I would always say, boy, I wish I was doing these interviews, with all these bands that I like, because I got questions that I would like to ask them. Like if I had the chance to interview Suicidal Tendencies or something as a kid,
Yeah.
You're doing it. You're like living the dream over here.
Yeah, it's awesome being able to like interview all these bands. Yeah, I think have I interviewed anyone on that list? Yeah, I interviewed Mike Gallo from Agnostic Front. Is that the only person on the list that you mentioned?
Maybe.
Gallo's the best, man.
Yeah.
Him and his brother, good guys.
Yeah. Do you like DRI?
Love DRI. That is a band I don't think I've got to play with, though I've seen them play a few times. One of my earlier bands growing up when I started playing guitar and learning songs, DRI was one of them. I had that Four of a Kind album, the Crossover album. I think we covered Northside Kings covered I'd Rather Be Sleeping
Oh, that's pretty cool.
on a split, and then it went on a DRI tribute album.
Nice.
But yeah, I love DRI.
Yeah.
You got to see them play a few times.
Yeah. Yeah. 6 times?
Six
Oh.
times, I think.
No, probably a little more than that. We've seen
7,
him a lot. Probably.
9, 10.
I don't know. We've seen him a lot. I got to interview the drummer, and that was really cool.
So DRI's got to play probably 6 times. One of your favorite bands.
Yeah, they're awesome.
They
Also,
still play a lot. I mean, I was up in northern Arizona
yeah.
last year, and I was at a gas station, and some guy next to me, the Native Americans in Arizona love DRI, and this Native American dude with the hair down to his ass, the long flowing dark hair. It's Arizona, like it's already kind of hot. It's in May. The dude's got like a DRI long sleeve shirt on. I was like, wow. I'm like that looks like a new shirt. He goes, yeah, they just played up here, like up in northern Arizona. I'm like, really? All the way up here? That's cool.
I wonder if it's the
They
same.
toured here about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was like a 40th anniversary tour, I think. Something like that.
they play a lot.
Mick, you need to design a DRI shirt.
Yeah.
That
Also,
would be cool.
this is my punk vest. There's a big old DRI patch right there.
Yeah, I know that patch.
Yep.
The dirty definition on it, right? I
Yep.
can't see it, but I remember that.
Oh, yep. But funny thing about this patch, well, it's not a patch. It's a part of a shirt. So it was my uncle's. He got it at like a DRI show in the 90s, and then he gave the shirt to my mom, and then you cut it out and put it on here.
After I wore it for 30 years.
Oh yeah,
I got a
Yep.
buddy. His nickname is Fatty. He's an old metalhead guy. He's older than me. He used to run the Sepultura fan club back in the day for Sepultura. He's an old school metal guy. He's got shirts from like 30, 40 years ago, and he still wears them, but he's gotten bigger through the years. So he's got them cut. So, he'll show up in a shirt that like he's got another shirt underneath it, but he's wearing this shirt over it that looks like he's got a poncho on. So he can continue to wear the shirt. The sleeves are cut off. The whole thing's torn up the sides. But he's got that old, Testament shirt on from, 1989 still. It's hilarious.
it's funny. Also, you're like you're an author, right?
Yeah, I've written a few books. I started writing books from I collected all this hate mail I got years ago from a fight I got into with the guy in another band that I think you're familiar with the guy.
That Glenn Danzig.
Yeah, Lady Frankenstein. That's what I call him.
Nice.
Lady Frankenstein is kind of a jerk. And anyways, I got years of hate mail from Danzig fans, and I put it together in a funny book. And it actually was just re-released. That was my first book. Here it is, the cover. Don't Ever Punch a Rock Star, a collection of hate mail and other crazy rumors. Almost every page has got like crazy hate mail messages, and it's full of pictures and flyers, a lot of stuff from the late 90s. Like this was a show that we played at CBGB's before it closed with Breakdown, Death Threat, Inhuman, Striking Distance. What a show this was. 5 Minute Major. So there's a lot of flyers, and it's a fun book. It's a cool book. It's not just about that. I mean, there's a lot of war stories and it's basically the history of Northside Kings with a little bit of the Danzig sprinkled into it. So that was the first, and then I kind of got the bug. I mean, I've always been a little bit of a storyteller and a writer. I used to write for some zines here and there and stuff as a kid. So I continued writing, and it's 6 books now, 2 of which with Mick below there. It Blows My Mind book. Here. This one here, this was our first collaboration, me and Mick. So I follow you on this page. It Blows My Mind. You're probably like, what is this blows my mind nonsense? But it's basically like stuff that I'm annoyed by. And I started writing them down because I'm like a lists guy. And I thought it was kind of funny. So I put it together in a book, and Mick made some characters and illustrations, and together we brought it to life. And we just released the second book, Blows My Mind Book 2. They're all on Amazon. But like, I'll give you an example. I'll pull one up here for you. Not wearing white after Labor Day. Who made this rule? I'll wear white whenever the F I want. I cut that word out.
Yeah.
Here's another one. I'll give you an easy one here. Please press 1 to speak to an agent. So Mick's got the illustration of the guy yelling, Carmine's his name, and I say, please press 1 to speak to an agent. Please pick up the effing phone. Hire a human, you nitwit. So it's all stuff that just like bothers everybody. Or some of it's extremely exaggerated, like people that slow dance to Aerosmith songs. It doesn't really bother me, but I thought it was funny, so
Yeah.
I put that in there, and we did 2 like that together. And then I got a few other books. This book is all mean movie quotes. I basically collected as many of the most belligerent. It's called the Belligerent Book of Movie Quotes. The meanest movie quotes you could think of with the movie, who it's from. Like, here's one for you. Turn around and eat your big ass biscuit. The guy Euphrates and CB4. Any page you pull up, it's going to be some. I'm going to rip off your head and poop down your neck, Teddy from Stand By Me.
You watched that.
Wait, we
You
did.
saw that. Stand by me. The kid with the
Oh
glasses.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rip up your head and shit down your neck.
Oh,
He said shit. I didn't want to say it.
You can. It's fine.
Okay, I can say shit.
Gabe says it.
Or here's another one from the movie 1941. You won't get shit out of me. I've been constipated all week. It's just funny quotes. So I got into really enjoying the writing aspect. I'm a big movie guy, so not to plug that one too. But I got a book on revenge movies, and I was going to do a volume 2 of this book. It's huge, but it'd be such an undertaking. And I said, hell,
Yeah. So Mick, you're an artist and you're working on a project with Danny right now, which is why I have both of you here. Can you guys both talk about the children's book you're working on currently?
We can. I don't know how much Danny wants to say, but yeah, we're wrapping up the final stages of a kids book, which has really been a fun and difficult process because we've got to shift gears from an adult focused sort of comedy book to something that kids can enjoy, but also something that their parents can enjoy reading them as well. So it's characters from It Blows My Mind books, but not necessarily, you don't really have to know those books to enjoy the characters that are in the kids book. So
Yeah.
It's been really fun. We've been working really, really hard on getting that finished the last few months. So yeah, we jumped straight into that after we finished It Blows My Mind 2. So it's been we've been working frantically around the clock almost to get this ready. We're launching a Kickstarter campaign for it in August when Danny and I are going to be together in Arizona. I'll be in Arizona in a month's time, pretty much. So we're going to be working a lot in that week that I'm there to get all our sort of ducks in a row and getting ready to launch the book and everything. And Danny can probably explain the idea of the book and the story better than I can. I've tried very hard to explain it to certain people, especially because it's very American. It's hard for me as an Australian to explain it to other Australians because they might not necessarily understand the whole story behind it. So I'll cut to Danny.
I'll go ahead. The book is called Night of the Gabagools. Gabagool is an Italian cold cut. It's actually capicola, but we changed the spelling to Gabagool like it's a ghoul, Ghoul. And it's the character from our book, Carmine, who's from the It Blows My Mind books, this guy here, but more drawn like this. He's like a red tracksuit, like with devil horns and a tail. And he's this character that shows up to people's houses that don't give out candy on Halloween. Last year on Halloween, I was so mad I had like 10 kids come to my house, if that. And every year it's getting less and less. And I started asking the parents, I'm like, hey, what's going on with all the kids? Where are they? I love Halloween. I want to see the kids' costumes. I break chops, have a good time. The kids that show up without a costume and they say, oh, I'm a student. I'm like, all right, here's your candy. Don't come back. But I missed the Halloween, and I looked down my street and they said it. Everybody's lights are off. The whole street shut down like it's a ghost town. Meanwhile, the very next day, everybody's lights were on, the neighbors working in the car, this guy's in the driveway, this guy's playing with his cat, and the other people are outside smoking a cigarette. I'm like, why couldn't you do that on Halloween? Because they don't want to give out the candy, I guess. So that kind of gave me the idea to like think of a punishment for people that don't give out candy. And that's how Night of the Gabagool kind of came about. So it's written like a nursery rhyme, like I guess you could say it was the night before Christmas meets it's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. That's the best way I could really give it to people. And we mention every kind of Italian food that you could think of, and I rhymed words that are ridiculous, Italian slang, Italian American slang, and it's a really funny book. We learned a lot on this because paperbacks, you work them a little differently. Hardcover books, you got to have a certain amount of pages that are tied into the book, and we got to expand it a little bit more than we planned. And and we're doing a Kickstarter, which is are you familiar with Kickstarter at all, Gabe? Have you ever seen?
I think I've heard of it. Yeah.
So Kickstarter, basically, it's a crowdfunding way to make a book. So you put the book up on a Kickstarter. You have different tiers where people could buy the book. Then they could buy the book and maybe a PDF, a digital download, and then we're going to actually record an audio version of it as well, like those '80s turn the page books. When you hear the sound, turn the page. That was a big thing. Your parents know what I'm talking about. They came on cassettes. But before that, they came on records, and you'd get like the Indiana Jones book, and you'd listen to Raiders of the Lost Ark on a record. And when you heard the sound of the whip, you turn the page. So we're creating a book like that too, and people can buy all those tiers, and that helps you get to your goal. If you get to your goal, you could take that money and produce the book. So we doing the Kickstarter. We got all these different add-ons that we're going to do, bonuses, stretch tiers. So like if we get to a certain total, everybody's going to get some little bonuses. And since like the book is Italian for with Italian American stuff, for example, you know what garbage pail kids are?
Yeah.
So I found Italian garbage pail kids. They're from Italy. They don't call them garbage pail kids in Italy. They call them scorpions or whatever, scorpions. I don't know how to pronounce it, but when you get to a certain level, everybody gets the Italian garbage pail kids. You get to another level of spend, everybody gets another bonus and a bonus and a bonus to help spread the word and to help really create the book. We've never done a book like this. This is our first time doing a Kickstarter. The other books we put through our company, and so this is a little different, but we're pretty excited. It's a little nervous about it, to be honest, but I think it'll be cool. Be a lot of fun.
Nice. Mick, you also design like shirts and stickers like that, stuff like that for for lots of bands. What are some bands you've done work for?
Lots of bands over the years now. Almost to the point where I have to I wrote down a list because I couldn't remember all the bands that I've worked with over the years. But I guess a short list of some of the bigger things that I've done is I've worked with Sick of It All, Agnostic Front, Madball, Biohazard, Sheer Terror, End It, you guys from Baltimore,
Yep.
E-Town Concrete, 100 Demons, Bulldoze, The Business, the Black and Blue Bowl. I've done shirts for the event the last 3 years in a row. Lord Isaac, I've done a couple of record covers for him. Furnace Fest, I did a poster for Furnace Fest last year. Hoods, and a ton of other punk and hardcore bands over the years. Even Slapshot. Sorry, I left them off the list.
Yeah, that
So
Slapshot album cover is one of my favorite things you've done.
so
Yeah.
it's been busy. I think I've been doing that now for the last for 7 or 8 years. So it's cool. I've ticked off almost all the bands off my bucket list to work with, which is crazy for a guy that's in Australia to work mostly with bands in the States, especially in New York. I mean, I think I've done about 15 Murphy's Law shirts just with those guys, and maybe a dozen Sheer Terror shirts. So it's been a busy few years working with all my favorite bands from New York and Northside Kings. I left Northside Kings off the
Oh
list.
yeah.
Yep.
It's
How
funny,
rude
you know,
of me! How rude of me to forget.
you almost can't go to a show and not see a Mick shirt somewhere.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure. I saw you did a pic design for Pete from Sick of It All, right?
I did, yes, yes. He was on my little list that I wrote here too. So yep, I did a design for Pete. I hung out with those guys a lot when they were here for their Australian tour in January.
Nice.
And sending all our love to Lou as well after the horrible news that people saw this morning. So, or this morning for me. So it was cool. Yeah, I really made some friends with those guys. It was really cool. I think I hung out with them for about a week and a half. Went to about 6 or 7 shows on the tour that they were here. So yeah, once Pete got back home, he hit me up and he's like, "Do you want to do something for me?" I was like, "Yeah, of course." So actually did a couple of designs, but that's the one that was posted was the one that we went with. So really cool to work with him and those guys.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so in that January tour, they did a lot of Asia and like Australia, because I think they did Japan, Australia, and New Zealand.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So we went to they did 4 shows in Japan, and we did both of the Tokyo shows.
Okay.
We went to them.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well, that would have
Yeah.
been cool.
That's
Yeah.
super cool.
It was very fun.
How long were you in Japan for? Just for those shows, or for there for
Yeah.
just for a holiday?
So it was kind of both. Um, yeah, so it was 4 days. The first and the last day was us. We're sick of it all shows.
Hmm.
Yeah, and
Both in
the
Tokyo?
other, yeah, in Tokyo.
Yep.
Yeah, I assume they flew in and flew out of Tokyo, and I think it was like, I think the other shows were like Kyoto and Osaka. I think.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I think it might have been that. Yeah, 2 days in between, just like in Japan.
That's really cool.
That's
Your
certainly one
parents take
place
you
I'd
to
always
that
love to
stuff.
go to.
Yeah, Japan is awesome.
Speaking of Pete, he literally just sent me a message on my phone, just buzzed, and I looked down and it was Pete. So
That's
there you
funny.
go. So
Say,
I
tell him
speak
you're
to
talking
him.
to Gabe.
Yeah, tell him.
Yeah,
Tell him I said hi.
I will. I'll
Yep.
Yeah,
respond to
that's
him
really
right
cool
now.
that your folks take you to all that stuff. I mean, if my parents would have taken me to a concert when I was a kid, it would have been like Harley Simon or something like. My mom liked Journey, so my mom was a little bit hipper, but it would have been like I would have saw James Taylor live. Believe me, it's not near the same thing.
Yeah,
I just messaged Pete too.
yeah. Um. So yeah, how old were you when you started drawing?
Um, I probably don't remember, to be honest. It's always been something that I've loved to do. Um, I guess, being a kid of the 80s, cartoons were such a big thing. Comic books were such a big thing. So that was, I guess, where I probably started to learn or to love that sort of stuff. And I think I've just always had a knack for it as well. I've still got boxes of cartoons and comic strips that I've created when I was probably your age or younger that I've kept in boxes across various people's. I think I've got a few boxes at my grandma's house and at my mum and dad's has some stuff. So I've kept almost everything I've ever drawn from probably the age of about 10. And it just progressed from there. I just kept at it. It was always something that I just kept doing. Art class was the only thing I was ever really good at school as well. So I'm not academic, or wasn't academic, except for art class. So it's just one of those things, and I never dreamt of it becoming something that it has. I never thought that anyone would actually care enough about anything that I ever did that it would become known for something. So it's quite a pleasant surprise that the style of my art has become recognizable and people like it, and people ask me to help out their bands and all that stuff. It's very flattering. So yeah, it's been a lifetime sort of ambition of mine and
Yeah.
hobby.
I'm not like super good at drawing, but like sometimes I just like to doodle on random stuff.
Hmm. It's
Doodling's
fun.
fun.
And I mean, that's how you get better and better at stuff, is you just, like anything. You play guitar?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess the more you practice and play, then naturally the better that you'll get at that. So I guess that goes for anything. So yeah.
Yep. I also play bass, vocals, and drums.
Wow,
Jack of all trades.
look at you.
Yep. Yeah,
I can
very
play
fun.
guitar and the kazoo.
Because yeah, oh yeah, so I can also play kazoo.
Got a fellow kazoo here. Look
Oh,
at
can you go get
this.
my kazoo? It's in the basement.
Nope.
Aw.
It's banished to the basement. It is not allowed not in the basement.
Gabe, me and you're gonna start a kazoo band.
Oh,
All we
God.
do
Yeah,
is
yeah.
play. All we do is play cover songs of
Yeah,
of
it'll be
Then
like,
bands that we like.
he's gonna
on
live with
kazoo.
you and not us.
yeah, it's gonna be like Judd, but
Hey.
kazoo.
The great kazoos, we'll call ourselves.
Pete responded, he said, the guy who was on tour with us.
Yep,
That's funny.
yep. But
Okay.
yeah, I like kazoos. They're fun.
So annoying. Go ahead.
Also, do you know the like automaton? It's like
Oh, is that weird thing with you use your hands?
uh yeah, it kind of. So it's like there's like a little mouth here, and you like squeeze it and it opens, and then there's like a little. It's almost like I don't know. There's a little like thing. Here, can you get it?
It's in the basement, I think.
Okay.
No, go.
Yeah, and there's like a little thing. It's almost like a guitar fretboard, but there's no frets, and it's like there's not like it's really thin, so you there's not like strings, but it's like flat. It's very odd, but it's cool, and it goes like like it's very
Oh,
weird.
yeah, okay. I think I have
Yeah.
seen that
My
before.
niece plays that thing that you with this. It's got the keys on it. You hit it with a stick in the
Xylophone.
wall,
Xylophone,
like
yeah.
like a xylophone, but it has a different name. She doesn't call it a xylophone. She calls it something else. But
It's
I don't know.
not
But
it's not a steel tongue drum, right?
it's like it's got the wooden keys. I keep sending her videos of like songs that have that, like the Violent Femmes has that in one of their songs. Like, hey, learn this song. Hey, learn that song. I'm
Wait,
trying to get her to entertain me here.
is it a kalimba?
Maybe, I don't know. Even if you said it, I probably would forget. So,
Yeah.
I think the big
Okay.
one and the little ones have got different names depending on
Yeah.
what it is.
she got a
Mhm.
big one. It's huge. You got an
So
Epiphone? You have an Epiphone, right? Is that what you got for guitar?
yeah, I mean I have a few guitars, but the main one I play is an Epiphone Les Paul, and it's like new. It's like $400. I think no, I don't think they come new anymore because it's an Epiphone Traditional Pro 2, I think. But it goes for like $400, and at a Guitar Center in like Towson, Maryland, it was like $270 because I didn't even know what color it was because it was covered in stickers, like
That's like
crazy.
that's like my guitar. So I have an Epiphone. I got it from the guitar player singer of Soulfly. He gave it to me years ago. And he recorded a Sepultura album and a Nail Bomb album on the guitar. He gave it to me because somebody broke into our band room and stole all our gear before a tour, and I didn't have any gear. So he gave me the guitar, which was tremendous.
Yeah.
And I've had the guitar I recorded the Cause for Alarm album and every Northside Kings album with the guitar. I broke a guy's collarbone in a fight with the guitar. The guy kept grabbing my belly when we were playing, and he knocked out some poor old man that was like a homeless guy in the pit. And finally, that was at the last straw, and the guy grabbed me again. I literally took off the guitar and I hit him, and I broke his collarbone with it. It survived the house fire. My house pretty much burned down around the guitar. I had Slayer sneakers and the guitar, and the fire, the whole living room was engulfed, but that survived. It got stolen by VOD's Guitar Tech, and I got it back. We almost had a beat up Vision of Disorder. That's a whole nother story. And I love that band, so that was a total bummer. And then it got lost. I mean, I can't begin to tell you. It's back. It's got holes in it. I put liquid concrete through it. I've fried the pickups 2 times from sweat from playing. Like I electrocuted it and fried it, which is unbelievable. 2 AMG 81s I've had to replace. I'm on my 3rd in there.
Jeez.
It's still, one time on tour, the tuning pegs were falling out. And I put crazy glue and toothpicks in, hold them tight. And I put the strings back on them. When I came home, I brought it to this guitar guy that fixes the guitar for me. He had to cut them off with a Dremel tool to put the new tuning pegs in the guitar. It has survived so much stuff. And I got the guitar completely Max Cavalera spray painted it, completely camouflage, neck, everything covered, and then I covered it with stickers. It's an animal. I'll never not use that guitar. And I have another Epiphone too. I tried to remake that guitar. I took the toggle switch off. I took the volume knobs, the EMG 81, the same tuning pegs. I did everything you could think of to try to recreate that guitar. And it's good, but it's just not that good, you know?
Yep. Yeah, so yeah, so mine like it was covered in stickers, but I managed to get pretty much all of them off, but I kept like 3 of them. But we had to use Goo Gone to get everything off.
Yeah,
And
I took it on guitar on tour without a guitar case. I didn't have a case. Max just gave me the guitar. I was wrapped in laundry. I went to see Sheer Terror, and we were on that tour with Cause for Alarm, and the guitar player Gary was in Sheer Terror at the time, who was in Kill Your Idols. He was like, you don't have a case in there?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Is that wrapped in laundry?" I'm like, "Yep." And when they came through on tour, he gave me a new case. I was younger. I mean, now I can go buy a case, but
yeah.
I was a little young and broke back then, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, we were on our way to Suicidal Tendencies show when we got the guitar, and I look on the back and there's a big old Suicidal Tendencies sticker.
It's awesome.
So I think it was fate.
I see you got the municipal waste hat, like the Suicidal Tendencies hat there.
Yep. I think it's a little bit of a ripoff, but it's
Yeah, it is. But
awesome.
I like municipal waste. I got a funny story about them. Not about the band themselves, but I was walking into this convenience store by my house about a year ago, and maybe 2 years ago, and these kids were outside there with skateboards and stuff, and the kid had a municipal waste shirt on. And I was like, "Oh man, that's cool, the municipal waste." I remember I had one of their albums, Hazardous Mutation.
Mutation.
Right? So the kid goes, "Oh yeah, like you listen to Municipal Waste." And I'm like, yeah, I do. He goes, "All right, name a song." And his friend goes, "Name an album." And I got like kind of nervous. Like these little kids were like bullying me. And I was like, I can't think of one off the top of my head. And the kid gives me the finger and he goes, "Poser." And he takes off. I was like, what just happened? I'm the old guy now. Like I totally got clowned by these like probably 15-year-old kids that were out there smoking cigarettes, which I should have just took their cigarettes and beat them up and said, "Don't smoke," you know. But
Yeah.
but I totally got clowned. I like Municipal Waste a lot. They're really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they're sick. They're just like
They'll be here in a couple of weeks, actually.
Oh nice. I didn't know that.
Mm.
Yeah, so I lost my like I was wearing shoes at the concert, like most people do.
Yeah.
And I lost it when I stage dove. So think I did like 4 stage dives probably. And I think on my second one, I lost it, second or first one. So I had 1 shoe and 1 sock for the rest of the show.
That's funny.
Yeah, pretty nuts. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Um, yeah. So what was your first punk hardcore metal show you attended, and how old were you?
You wanna go first, Mick?
Um, oh, I think probably. I mean, they're not really a metal band, but in that harder rock realm, is I saw AC/DC in '96. I think it was on the Ball Breaker tour, and I was 14, 15. So I think that was my first. I still have the shirt actually from that tour, um, which is bizarre. It's big for me now, and I'm that much older. But
Yeah.
for whatever reason, I was wearing King Kong size t-shirts when I was a skinny 14-year-old. But I
What
still
size
have
is it?
that shirt, so
Medium?
that's my first one. Punk shows, I don't know. It was kind of the era when a lot of the Epitaph and Fat Records bands were starting to come out here. So it would have probably been one of those, but I'm too old to remember now,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Danny?
Yep.
Well, I would have said something different, but I saw you do an interview with an old friend of mine from high school, uh, my friend Jason from Kid Dynamite. It reminded me that the show that he saw, which was his first show, really would have been mine, which was a battle of the bands in our old high school. And this band Knuckle Sandwich played. And I mean, they really kind of made me go, wow, I would like to do this. And they only played like 4 songs that night. The school shut them down. They said they caused a riot, and they shut the whole Battle of the Bands down. My father-in-law has the T-shirt still from that Battle of the Bands, like 40 years ago or something. Not that long, maybe 35, probably 34, 35 years ago. I saw him wearing it when he came out to visit. I'm like, you have that? But boring band, I would say I'm not 100% sure. First concert I went to on my own without my parents is either going to be Mucky Pup, which I don't know if you've even probably ever heard of, but you should go
Yeah.
look them up. They're like New Jersey royalty. And then the other band would have been Leeway. One or the other.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure which one it was.
Yep.
Mucky Pup was also the first band that I played with in high school that was like I guess a nationally known band. It was a huge deal for us. I still have the Mucky Pup cassette tape signed by everybody in Mucky Pup.
Sure. Um, yeah, I really like Leeway. Also, rest in peace, Eddie. He was like he was really good at what he does, and he was like really cool. He was an awesome person. Also, he was my first interview that I
Oh
did.
wow,
Yeah.
that's cool. I wanted to
Yeah.
call Northside Kings Desperate Measures, but it didn't have the ring that everybody liked, so
Yeah.
we chose Northside Kings, which is really a joke name. Uh, we were at a bachelor party. I already kind of had the band together. We were playing some shows under a different name. We were trying to come up with a new name, and I was hassling this guy at the bachelor party, and uh, uh, he goes, "What do you think? You the king or something?" He was breaking my chops. He goes, "You live up in North Scottsdale, the king of the North Side." And I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." And that's how we came up with the name. And now
Wow.
there's a Northside Kings that's from Mexico. That sings rap music in Spanish, and there's a Northside Kings on Spotify that is totally not us. That people are like keep sending to me all the time. I was listening to Spotify on my mix, and all of a sudden this band came up. I'm like, I don't know who they are. I don't care. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna go after people. Go
Yep. So, what's your favorite place in the world you've ever visited?
Me
first, Mick.
again?
Yeah.
New York. New York is my favorite place in the world to visit. I think I've changed my mind over time whether I'd like to live there or not. I did want to move there at one point, but I think the hustle and bustle of a mega city like that is probably too much for me. But it is my favorite place to go. So that's it for me.
Yep. Yes, we're going tomorrow for Dead to Fall.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, pretty fun. Danny, what about you?
I really like Southern Italy. My wife and I have been kind of kicking around getting the dual citizenship. I could get that.
Hmm.
I could trace back relatives and uh, move a place where it'd be to live like half the year, get out of this Arizona heat for the summer and go drink wine every day and eat pizza and pretend that I'm Paulie Walnuts from The Sopranos. Come in the party, like
Yep.
I think it would be really a cool thing, and it's not that expensive to live there, eat there, and everything else. So maybe in the future we get a little more financially secure. We'll buy a little condo over there and maybe go there half a year.
Yeah. Yeah, I want
It's
to go
so
to Italy.
funny that all my ancestors wanted to leave Italy, and now I want to go back.
Yep. Yeah, I want to
Crazy.
go to Italy at some point because it's pretty. It like just seems really cool.
Beautiful. And it's a
Yep.
slow pace. They take breaks during the day, they relax. If I told you what my work day was like today, the pressure and everything else that I'm under all day long, you see how people live over there. They live longer, they eat fresher food. They now got all these preservatives and everything. I mean, it's just a better way of life, and natural food and chill, and you got a chance to breathe. You
Yeah,
gotta over here
for
it's
sure.
nuts. You'll see.
Definitely.
You're
Yeah.
a couple of years away from the rest of your life working, buddy. So enjoy these couple of years as much as possible.
Yep. So, if you could live as any animal for one day without the risk of being killed or eaten, what would you choose?
If I could choose to be any animal,
Yeah.
well, Mick, you go first while I think of that.
All right.
Maybe a oh, it's a tricky question. I was going to say a tiger because they kind of that they're loners and they like the peace and quiet, and I'm probably a bit like that. But then again, just thinking about it now, maybe some sort of bird where I could just pack up and fly and go somewhere wherever I wanted to go. I could go. So I don't know, maybe an eagle or a tiger.
Yeah.
I would choose one of my wife's dogs because she spoils the dog so much that I mean it couldn't be better than there's no better animal than that. I mean,
Yeah.
and I like my wife obviously, so she'd be fun to hang out with, and I could have treats all day and get massages, puppy massages,
Yep.
you
You
know.
won't. You won't have to work. You won't have to pay for any of it.
Oh no, we had a dog,
Rent
two
free.
dog birthday yesterday, double dogs, because we don't know the one dog's birthday, so we just put them on the same day. So the dogs got birthday treats and we'll party, and that's what I want.
Nice.
I'll take that.
So, what's your favorite movie or like TV show when you were my age?
For
I
me,
choose my favorites all the time.
probably a TV show would have been The Simpsons
Nice.
at that era, and movies either how old, 12-ish years old. So I would have maybe the original Ninja Turtles movie, the
Oh yeah, that's a good
1989
one.
Batman, and Rambo 3.
Nice.
Number three.
Yeah, 3. Three's
Where
always
are the
been the one
missiles?
that's got the most nostalgia for me, the third one. So that's the pick.
That's because of your age. So like
Yeah.
some of my friends that are older than me, they rag on me because like my favorite Exodus album is like Fabulous Disaster. But by that point, Exodus wasn't as cool anymore. They like they're bonded by blood and the pleasures of the flesh because they were, those were the cooler ones, and I came a little later. So you just did what I've been doing my whole life. Uh, I think I loved. God, what grade are you in, Gabe? What's 12 years old?
Be going to seventh.
Yeah,
He's
you go on
homeschooled, so he
seven.
doesn't actually know.
Yeah.
Okay, so seventh grade. eighth grade-ish. I want to say probably I watched Tales from the Crypt like crazy when I was your age. I was addicted to Tales from the Crypt. It was an HBO show, short horror stories. The Crypt Keeper was like the coolest to me.
Nice. Yeah,
Movies, Predator, Rambo, First Blood. I got the Rambo knife tattoo, and then I got a Predator, Arnold Schwarzenegger. If it bleeds, we can kill it. I those two movies were huge
yeah,
for me at your age.
I've never seen any of those, but I love horror.
Okay, listen, Predator is your number one movie to get after this week. You,
I
I will contact you and find out if you watched Predator yet and when you watch it, because now we got to chat about what you thought of Predator. So
Yep.
I will be in touch with you. Those two movies, when I thought I was Rambo when I was a kid. First Blood was the first Rambo movie. Rambo was First Blood Part Two, and then Rambo 3. I even had my parents call me Danbo when I was your age. Which they weren't too cool on that. They were like, "Your name is Danny." I'm like, "My name is Danbo." And I ran through the woods. I wore the red bandana. I had the knife with the back when your parents could give you at your age actual ninja stars and knives. I had the knife that had the compass on it and the whole thing. I even had the little Buddha necklace. You'll see if you watch Rambo Part Two. It was like a little green Buddha jade necklace that I wore everywhere. I really thought I was going to save the world at your age. Let me tell you. Today I can lucky to walk up the stairs without getting out of breath.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll make sure to watch this movie so I can see him.
You'll love him.
All right.
Predator is the ultimate like guys movie. You know what it's about? You have any idea?
No.
I'll give you the. So it's about a bunch of mercenaries that go into the jungle in South America on a recon mission, but they find out that the guys that they're looking for didn't just go missing or get lost or get killed by another mercenary group. They got killed by an alien who's hunting them in the jungle. The hunters are being hunted by an alien, collects humans' spinal cords and skulls for trophies. They made a whole bunch of movies, Predator movies, Aliens vs. Predator. They even did a really cool one about the Predators coming to North America in was it the 1700s, Mick? Right?
Yeah, yeah.
That one was awesome. They got a new one coming out too. Really cool. I was obsessed.
Nice. Well,
So I guess if you like horror, there's enough kind of horror elements and a bit of gore and stuff to keep kids interested as well.
That and Indiana Jones, which I just happen to have this comic book on my desk right now. But
nice.
I gosh, I loved Indiana Jones. I wanted to be an archaeologist. And my parents were like, "It's not that cool. Don't expect to be
Yep.
finding the Ark of the Covenant. It's not going to happen." So I switched to a Ghostbuster, and then my parents were like, "Yeah, that's not going to be a good job either." So I kept moving to different positions based off
Yep.
of films and TV shows I liked.
Yep. Well, yeah, if you tell your 12-year-old selves anything at all, what would you tell them?
Oh,
I would. You think about it. I think I have a good answer, and that would be to not be afraid to try things. To really, if I want it, just go for it. As a kid, I definitely maybe held back on things that I wanted to do. Uh, don't be afraid to fail. Just go for it. Just go for it. You fail, who cares? You can get back up.
Nice.
yeah, that's a good one. I know I'm probably going to go too deep here. Yeah, follow the path that you want for yourself, because one of the things I did that I deeply regret still to this day as a man in his 40s is I listened too much to my parents nagging in my
Look at
ear
he's
about
looking at his
schooling.
mom right now as you're talking.
Is to follow the path that you want, rather than outside influences, because then that can, if it doesn't work out, I was going to say something really. I have a potty mouth, so I've had to be careful for this last hour or so. But I nearly dropped a few swear words in there. But
It happens. Not a huge deal.
Yeah,
it does.
happens.
We should see my 4-year-old's got. He's starting to get a nasty little potty mouth as well. But yeah, follow what you want to do rather than let someone else tell you what you should do. Because then your life could end up a pile of shit that you're not happy with. And then you've got to figure out ways to make those changes in your life to make things more bearable.
Nice.
That's a good depressing thing to tell a kid.
It is.
It's important.
They got to figure it.
Yeah.
They got to figure it out.
It's really the same. We both have the same theory. Just you said it a lot more eloquently than I did.
Yep. Well, anything to add before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I mean,
not. Well, we're going to be together, Danny and I, in August, the first week of August, and we're going to have our launch release party on the first Friday in August at the Yucca Tap Room in Tempe, Arizona. Is that how you say it? Tempe?
It's actually pronounced Yucca, by the way. But Yucca Tap Room, we're doing a book release party.
How do I pronounce it?
Yeah, Yucca. That's all right. I say Lambrou
Yucca.
20 years, so what's the difference? But yeah, it's a book release party for this book. He's coming out from Australia. It's rarity that we can get together for this kind of stuff, which is really cool. And there's a bunch of bands playing. We're not just doing a book party. There's a band called Overstand, which you need to check out. Look them up on Instagram. It's Todd from Warzone's new band. Old bass player. He played Northside Kings a little bit too. They're a great hardcore band here in town. Then Hard Luck is playing, another really cool band you should look into from Arizona. Keeper and Knife's Edge. So it's a free show. It's 21 or older, but free show. And then we're doing our book release party. And then while he's here for that whole week, we're going to get ready for our Kickstarter for Night of the Gabagool. So what I would say is you can follow Mick Lambrou at Instagram, right? Is it just at Mick Lambrou?
Yep, that's the one.
And then you follow at It Blows My Mind, which is the videos we do for this book and whatever we got coming up for It Blows My Mind. And then at Night of the Gabagool, because that's going to be, we're going to launch on August 6th while he's here. So while he's here in town, like we got some fun things. We're going to medieval times. I don't know if you ever, what that is, but like, it's like the knights fight on horses, and we're going to be, yelling and screaming the whole time. But then we got a video stuff to do. We got Vic, by the way, Matt hit me up. You got that thing for the zoo to do. We got so much stuff that we got to do. It's nuts, and so we'll have fun. We'll hang out while you're here, and we take advantage of the time to work on the projects that we work on. I love working with Mick on stuff. It's like I would say he's probably the Roger Murray of the books, and I'm the Vinny Stigma together. We work very well together, and we'll keep doing stuff. So
Nice. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks to Danny and Mick for joining me today, and thanks to all you for watching or listening. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on Spotify and other streaming platforms. Until next week, bye.
take care, buddy.
Thank you.